troubled sea. Whoa, you are the peace in my troubled sea. My lighthouse, shining in the darkness, I will follow you. My lighthouse, I will trust the promise. You will carry me safe to shore. Tomorrow brings, with each morning I'll rise and sing. My God's love will lead me through. You are the peace in my troubled sea.
That's okay. She's so sweet. Anyway, yeah. It's the church class. I've never heard that song. Those kids love the church class. They're learning today. And this little girl, she just would not let the kids put her down. So that's what we did. They were good, sweets. They were good.
I'm not doing that in this church. So I meant to say, turn that off. You're fired. So I wanted to say this while I was up there and I forgot, but one of the most beautiful things is watching our youth and watching them pour out their God-loving hearts into a community that they don't even know. And their hearts were broken over this community. Their hearts were happy at times from the things that they were doing. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just watching them grow closer together as a youth group, growing closer together with them as the adults, and just watching them show the love of Christ in this community that so desperately needed it. It was absolutely beautiful. Amen.
Yeah. I love y'all. Y'all are all right.
Okay.
Yeah. She got those.
So I don't know if you guys saw the slide of the praying teens. Owen and a couple of friends. I think one of them was one of the boys from our Alabama church, the Silver Run. Jacob was in there. So the church that I went to in Alabama met us there. And we kind of became just like one church. They loved all of the kids. They loved the directors. So it was kind of fun for all of us to be together. But him and Jacob and another boy that they just happened to meet went around. What was his name? Whit, but I'm not saying that voice. They went around and prayed over people. And we just happened to look up and see one of our very teens praying over someone. And I was like, and that's why we're here. That is why we are here. So I couldn't have been more proud of him. And I was like, that's one of our kids. If you didn't see, so there was another thing, there was community. So that had Paxton and Miss Lori and Sam in it. There were no pictures taken. There wasn't very many pictures taken at all. I'm not a picture taker. I live in the moment and forget to take pics. Chloe wasn't in a lot of them because the little girl that she kind of buddied up with was a runner. Chloe did not sit down the entire week. She ran and ran and ran. And the very first day, because she has never been in that element, her face was just like this the whole day. Just watching these kids like dumping water and running away and screaming and yeah. What was it? Oh yes, they were pouring water into anthills, so in anthills. But I hardly ever saw her because she was running the whole time. The video of Mackenzie didn't play, but she taught. So Millie, I am going to say their names because you guys are all church.
It was
Miley, sorry. There was a Millie and a Miley. Millie was the one who wouldn't let Mackenzie put her down. And then Miley was the one who was old enough to read, but didn't know how. And she worked with her all week on her sounds of her letters and how to read. And then by the end of the week, there was a video of her reading a Bible verse. And that was what that was, but it wouldn't let us play it. So it was amazing to watch that. Like, I told her she needs to be a teacher because she was so good. So good. I didn't say this before the video, I don't think any of y'all did, but like, we're not supposed to put them on social media. So you guys are our church, so we'll share them with you, but they just can't be out in front of everybody. These kids have stories. Some of them are really awful stories. But it really made us love them more. And John is right. Watching these kids is the best. I'm going to let them come up and say a few words, and it will probably be very short. Bella didn't want to stand up here by herself, so if you want to come up here as a group, you can, and you just pass the mic.
Let's look all together.
Come on, childrens. You want to go first then? Okay. Oh, so yeah, Owen was sleeping, but he didn't sleep the whole day. He was just passed out at one little time. He just needed a little tiny nap. They did construction and rebuilt a bathroom. So Chloe's gonna go first. She asked me to tell the beginning of her story. There was a sweet little boy named Noah. I say he's sweet. He is all he knows to be. Noah, I went 2 years ago, and then again this year. Bella's gone. Was that your third time going? Noah was there before, and he was the same, except for now he is really even worse with what he says and his actions. And you just know that like that is what he knows. Like, that's his environment at home. And so we were sitting there trying to get Noah to do a craft. And if you talked to him and set him down, and he has a pet turtle that he caught. He likes to catch wild animals.
His name's Gizmo.
Yes. So he caught a snapping turtle, and it's his pet. This boy is like 7, and he told me that he got the snapping turtle to not bite him. And I said, "How in the world did you teach you to do that?" And he said, "You just pet under their chin." Because they talk so country. And so I was like, "Well, that's pretty cool." We were doing a craft with Noah, and he made something out of pipe cleaners, and he was hitting the table with it, and he was said, I made something to abuse somebody. And me and Chloe both were like, "Oh, we don't hit people, like, we don't abuse people, it's not very nice." And he said, "So then why does my dad abuse me?" And I said, I don't know, Noah. Like, I can't answer that for you. But this is almost what Chloe did when he said that. I said, "I don't know, but what do you think that a father is supposed to be?" And he said, "Well, they're not supposed to abuse you. They're not supposed to hit you." And I said, "You're right. So now you know when you grow up, when you have children, that you know what not to do." And I said, "And that's the first step into changing your situation." And the little girl that was sitting across from him, she said, "And daddies aren't supposed to tell you that you're a mistake." And Noah said, "Yeah, my dad tells me that all the time." And that little girl said, "Noah, you're not a mistake, your daddy's a mistake." And the way that they take up for each other is so sweet, because one second they'll be punching each other in the face, and the next second she's saying that he's not the mistake. They kind of raise each other. These kids raise each other. So that's just a little story about Noah. It's terrible. It's horrible. It is what they live in every day. The words that boy says is something I don't even know. Like, I'm like, whoa, where did you hear that? And just to know that's what he lives in. So I'm going to give this to Chloe because she didn't want to tell that story.
Okay, well, when I heard the story and stuff, it made me realize how good of parents I have and how I need to appreciate them more. So, but also something that Noah said to this one little girl, he said that if you don't eat faster, he's gonna shove it down her throat, and it made me also want to start crying because that he hears that at home. Yeah.
I met Peyton my first year at Big Creek, and she was my friend, and she would not want to go anywhere. And then I met her again my second year, and we were buddies again, and then again on this year. But this year she was my first 2 years, she was really joyful, and she listened well, and she noticed everything back. And then this year something changed. She was mean and she was hateful, and she wouldn't listen. So I think that something happened to her that way, because she wasn't that way.
She was doing better by the end of the week, though.
So I met a little girl named Sydney, and she, like Ashley said, she ran all over the place. She'd get upset because she tried to go over to the swings, and a kid would run in front of them and take her, and so she'd sit there and she'd start crying, and I'd rub her back, and then, she's fine, and she'll pop back up and touch me and go tag, and then we'd start running again. So, I love her. She's a bit hyper sometimes, but she wasn't there twice, and it makes you sit there and you're like, okay, so what do I do now? I think she has a nice home, or at least a nice life at home, but like Bella's story, it could change in an instant. So I'm hoping nothing happens like that, because the things that happen there, you know that they've heard that before, and they aren't just saying things to say stuff. And maybe they don't come up with that, so someone's told them that. And it's upsetting, but it's a lot of fun. And I got to do this food route thing where we would drive a little van to take out food to people who need it for their children. And we got to this little trailer park, and all these trailers were like broken and not in very good shape. Like there was one van that the door couldn't even shut and stay shut. Like you could tell the person had left, there was no one there. And because like all the lights were off and like all this, and the door was just wide open because it couldn't latch. And like the trailers, some of the windows are like broken and all that. And you sit there and you think, like this could be one of the homes that the child you're working with lives in. And there were people on drugs, and you could tell them, because there's this one guy I could tell who was drinking because he was walking over there. He couldn't walk another straight line, and he was like slouched over. And some people just smell like drugs. It's just not really a nicer way to put that out there. But and they would try to just take food for themselves. And this one family that had 3 kids, we couldn't give them everything that they needed, because there were people like that would take the food that didn't have the kids for that food. And some of the kids don't even know when their next meal is going to be. And their parents don't care enough to wash their clothes, and they come back in the same clothes. And this one girl that was out there in long sleeves and shorts, and it's like, why are you wearing that? It's 90 degrees out here. Yeah.
Good.
Chloe was extremely heartbroken over these kids. So, she really had
For the last 2 years, I went to Fuge, and Fuge is like it's fun, but Big Creek is like, it's humbling. And like seeing these people's, like, what they live through every single day, it's definitely like, it gives me a new perspective and not to take things for granted. So like, that's what I got from that. It's like, not be like, I don't know, don't take things for granted and be humble, because people don't know when they're gonna eat, or like, I don't know. It's just definitely humbled me.
Alright, when I got there, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna be a little weird. And then, like, after the first day, it was okay, because I got to go outside and have fun and all that. And then the second day, when we got to their houses and started, like, looking in their stuff, the home was like, it was a nice house, but in the inside it was like, pretty dirty. Pretty dirty. And then we got in the bathroom and all that. We saw the bathroom, and yeah, I think the woman had like a stroke or something like that, and we had to put like a new whole bathroom in for her, and like a walk-in shower and everything. And oh, I don't know, my story's gonna go. Oh yeah, just don't take people for granted.
Thank you all. This experience was an eye-opening experience to how blessed we are, and here you go.
I just like that community down there, and I'm thankful for Big Creek because in construction they get to rebuild people's homes, make it a better life for them to live in. And community, they go around giving people company because some people just live alone for like 30 years and haven't got to talk much with people. So, and in the kids' day camp, like everybody in the stories that they told, everybody was like rushing to eat everything they could because they didn't really eat. So it was just kind of just thankful for everybody.
Hi. So I'm Nate's mom, and my son Joe is here today. We did, myself, Sam, and Paxton, we did community, and we would go out into the community and minister to people. We would like sit and visit with them. We would power wash their house. We would mow lawns. And through the whole thing, because I'm a woman of a particular age, I thought I was too old to relate to the teenagers and to be of any use for them. So I was thinking this all week. And the one day we were working at the homeless shelter, and we were helping clean out the closet, the food pantry she had there. And we were working and working, and all of a sudden it was like, Lord just told me. And I realized that the kids were like, we were having so much fun and we were relating, and that I could relate to the teenagers. And Paxton followed me around all week going, nope, that's not the way, nope. And so we went to a nursing home, Paxton and I and Sam and some other girls, and Sam had a migraine, so we left her in my car. She would not come inside and lay in the air conditioning. So we went to all these different rooms, and I think I have a boyfriend in Big Creek now. We walked into the room, and of course all the kids are always behind me. They won't go in like beside me, or they're standing behind me. And he kisses me on the cheek, and I ask him, I go, sir, Alan, can we come in your room? He goes, oh yeah, I love pretty girls in my room, and honey, you are gorgeous. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So then we chit-chat with him again, and then we come back, we go into other rooms, and we visit with the people at the nursing home. Well, then we go back to tell him goodbye, and he goes, you're leaving me? Oh my goodness. So then he's kissing me on the other cheek, and then he kind of pops me on the and so we got to meet people, and we had a good time, and we just went out into the community and did things for people. And then, what else did we do on Friday? Oh, we mowed a lawn that was like 3 acres. It was a 3-acre lawn that we mowed, and we had a little push mower and some weed eaters. And we worked on this lady's lawn, and we sat and visited with her and ate lunch with her. And we had to take a lunch with her. Yeah, so
She
that's.
said that she learned how did you phrase it? She was like, I learned how to do a weed, what'd you call it?
Weed whacker. A weed
Whacker, I think is it.
And they were telling me that
A wheat whip.
Oh, weed whip. That's what she called it. I was like,
they all were like, what are you talking about? I go, you weed whip? And they go, it's a weed whacker. And I go, I didn't like say that word. So this is Sam.
So, before I went, I haven't been to camp since I was a leader whenever I was with 5-year-olds, anywhere from 5 to 12-year-olds. So it was very different for me, being there. And I love each one of these, and thank you for the chance to go. But when I was there, I just really, it was very humbling. I've always known the people, that are in these situations. You know it, everybody knows it, there's people all around. But you don't really grasp it and know it until you see it. And some of these places we went to just, I couldn't believe that there was children living in these homes. They weren't even homes. They were just like basically tin boxes, some of them, you know. They're, like Chloe said, their windows were broke. Everything was broken down. You know, it was literally falling apart and sagging. And we delivered boxes to these people because, like she said, it's the only thing they get to eat. And I just maybe appreciate and love my children so much more than they even realize. And I really feel like I was there, just God was really saying, okay, you know, you need to see what you can do to serve in your community. What can you do, you know, where you live? These people are, you know, 6 hours away from us, which, by the way, I think it took us more like 8 hours to get home. I think they had to stop to pee a lot. But, yeah, and John too. We had a great time, but I really went. So if any of you, you know, if any of you feel something you need, I would love to be able to help you in any way I can. I feel it in my heart, you know, so much. And these two are going to do fantastic things with these kids. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity that I had to be able to be with them and to get to know them more and to grow as not just as people, but as a family in Christ. You know, that's what it's really about. We are supposed to be a family. And when you see a need in your family, what do? You take care of that need. And that's what we're supposed to do, to love on each other and to be there for each other. You know, not just say, know the need and be like, oh, I wish I could do something for you. But no, you know it, do it. Don't wait till tomorrow, because you're not promised tomorrow. You're not promised tonight. You know, there's so many things that had happened there and so much that I saw, and I could go on and on and on, but no, I'm not going to. But these two are just amazing, and I'm so grateful to be able to be there and to help them in any way I can as well. They're great and wonderful, and I love them all, and each one of these kids. So.
This experience was just really cool, and to see what these kids went through, it was really sad.
I'm the last one because I'm a yap for a second, so just buckle your seatbelts because we're going to be here for a while. There's a lot of stories that I could probably tell, but I have one in particular that definitely affected just the way that I think. So first of all, thank you and everyone who contributed to us being able to go. I am so incredibly grateful and thankful and blessed, because I definitely was one of the skeptics that was like, what do you mean we're not going to be jumping around in the sun? What do you mean by that? And I was a little, you know, we pull up there and it's just this old elementary school, and I'm like, okay, what are you guys getting me into? Like, we're not going to be home. We're not going to make it home. But we did. And it was, I loved it so much more than, it gave me more than Future could ever give me. Because you can't get an emotional high there. It's just like a simple church worship and pretty superficial sermons that you kind of have to dive deeper into to understand what he's talking about. And so you can't get an emotional high. If anything, you get on an emotional low, and you gotta turn and look to Jesus. And that's exactly what I did. So when we got there on day one, you know, I had expectations for these kids, and I was like, you say they're gonna be bad, but it's gonna be fine. Like, they're gonna just be, woo, and I love you guys. That was not the case. Yeah, we had some crazy kids up in there, but I got there and my brain exploded, because I was like, oh, this is bad. Like, these kids aren't just struggling. I mean, this is how they live every single day, and it's not an easy thing to do, and it's not an easy thing to watch. And this one little girl in particular, day one, was crawling all over my lap. And just for reference, this little girl was wearing a sweater jacket, skinny jeans, no shoes, and no underwear. And she came every day with no underwear.
It was like 110.
It was one of the hottest days of the week. Yeah, I'm congested. Anyway, so I kind of had my eye on her on day one, and I just kind of tried to let the kids come to me. Because I can be a little selfish, because my job is to take care of children. And I noticed that week. I'm so used to them loving on me and being all over me, and these kids have so many walls that they put up. The last thing they're going to do is just immediately fall in love with you. It doesn't work that way. And it took time, and the next day, you know, we got a little bit more acquainted, and again, she was wearing the same pair of skinny jeans, no underwear, and I don't even remember what shirt she had on that day. And once again, can I stay with you? I want to go with you. She didn't want to leave. She wanted to be held all day. She just wanted me to hang out with her. And in the meantime, I'm trying to teach this little girl how to read. So it was great. But Wednesday came along, and Wednesday is workshop Wednesday, and this little girl came in a long sleeve shirt, just absolutely soiled shorts. They had not been washed in probably months. And once again, no underwear. And I'm holding her on my hip, and she's just starting to shift around a little bit. I'm like, no, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? Can you try and get her to talk to me a little bit? And she just kept telling me that she was hurting, and I couldn't hold her a certain way because it just bothered her. She wouldn't sit down on her butt. She just couldn't. It got to a point where it was hurting her so bad, like medically something was wrong. And so I looked at and Wednesday is like your group gets to go out in the community and kind of eat dinner out. Like, you don't stay here where they keep us. And I was like, can we please go and get this little girl like something, like underwear, like she doesn't have anything. She has nothing. And not to say that all of these kids had nothing, but she in particular just touched my heart, you know, very hard. And I was with her all day Wednesday, and we didn't get the chance to go out Wednesday, but whenever we came Thursday, she was in her brother's giant Henley. If you don't know what a Henley is, that's an extremely thick material made for layering in the wintertime. And it was huge. It was huge on her, and she was wearing this. Wednesday, some friends of mine had bought some stuff to keep there at the day camp, and we put her in a new pair of underwear and a new pair of shorts, and they came like the ones she'd been wearing all week. Like, there's no reason they should have been that way. I don't care if she was rolling in the dirt on the playground. The playground was mulch. Like, you can't get the stains she had on there from rolling around in the mulch. It just doesn't. And she was wearing the same pair of underwear. And I asked her, I was like, Millie, do you have any clothes at home? She was like, no, this is my brother's. This is my brother's. So I was like, okay. And her brother ate 12 hamburgers that day. Yeah, he's a little boy. Little boys are going to eat, but a little boy doesn't eat 12 hamburgers in 90-degree heat. He was starving, and I was told to send every bit of corn. Like, one day we had corn dogs, and I was told to send every last bit of them home with these specific children. Anyway, so Thursday, you know, we left, and it was a spa day. So community comes and they wash these kids' hair and they wash their feet, and this is the only chance to bathe that some of these kids get during the week.
It's their favorite day because they get their hair washed.
Yeah. Like, one of the things they tell you in the beginning is, like, if you get lice, you guys can get rid of it. These kids can't. And so we went and we got her all sorts of stuff, and I came back and I was like, Millie, I got a surprise for you. And she was just staring at me. She was like, So I took her to the car, and she was most excited about her underwear and her socks. And her underwear, so I just want to tell you guys, we got her a pair of shoes, because she wore these sandals that were tore up. She wouldn't put them on her feet. So we found some tennis shoes at Family Dollar, and we got them a size, her shoes were size 11, so we got them a size up so she could wear them. We put these on her feet, and they were too small. She wouldn't admit it, they were too small. She was wearing shoes that were 2 sizes too small for her feet, and would not keep them on her toes. And so we brought them to her, and her face, I got told that they'd never seen her face light up like that before. She looked like a completely different kid. Obviously, I was crying, because Millie ended up being my little baby. She was with me all the time, never wanted me to put her down, and it was the sweetest thing. So Friday came, and that's your last day, and it was water day, which is like water guns and all that sort of stuff, and she was a completely different kid. I was bit, I got my lip busted open, I was slapped, and I was kicked. And you can't grab these kids by the arms, you have to scoop them up like you're gonna hug them. And I did that, and she would scream in my face that she didn't want to be held. And that wasn't, I could just tell something was wrong. And I kept telling everybody, like, this isn't because she's overwhelmed, something's wrong, something happened. And nobody would listen to me, and I just kept saying, I kept repeating it. And the day was probably the worst day I had, because I couldn't enjoy it. I was just so concerned, and you could tell. And she was wearing the same shirt I put on her the day before, and she told me she wore it in the pool. And they did put on a different pair of underwear and shorts, but it was just to cover it, because, you know, we left, and I'm crying the whole time because my last day with Millie was awful, and I couldn't do anything to fix it. And you can't take these kids home with you, and they're just gonna, a lot of them put up walls again as a defense mechanism because they know that you're leaving. They know it. And that night, in church group time, one of the girls that isn't here today went on a food route where you deliver meals to some of these kids. And I was informed that her mother sold everything we had bought her. Excuse me. It was really hard to hear. I was not supposed to cry today. I literally told myself all morning, I was like, you're gonna thug it out. And I did not thug it out. But in fact, she knew. She was trying to tell me and she couldn't. And she has nothing left. And it doesn't matter. People can keep buying her clothes. And you know her mom didn't sell them for food. That's not their case. And they are now officially like, the director's been told about these kids. Like, this is a very serious situation. And it was very eye-opening. It made me realize that going to this camp once a year is not going to change anything in our community. It's not going to help you do anything if you don't take it with you. And I always was like, oh, if you changed me this year, like I'm going to come back. And it didn't. This did. And I'm working really hard to try to figure out what I can do to serve kids in our community. Because there are kids like this that live here. I've seen it. I know it. And they need help just as much as kids that live 6 hours away. So don't be blind. Don't look at something and know that something's wrong and just stop thinking about it because you don't think you can do anything. You know, we're called to be servants. We're called to serve. And these are God's children just as much as grown adults with a house mortgage are. Like, these children have nothing. Not a single thing. And the things they do have are taken away from them. So just don't take anything for granted. Don't take your clothes for granted because it's not name brand. Don't take your food for granted because it's great value. These kids don't eat. They don't have a life. They have nothing. And it definitely, I got a chance to talk to some people, and it definitely, we're going to do everything we can to continuously try to take care of the kids there and to take care of the kids here, hopefully. Me and Nate got to chat a little bit while we were there, and we're just, I don't really know where to go from here, but yeah, it was very impactful, and it definitely made me realize that I was a lot more selfish than I thought I was, because I thought I was the most selfless person you'd ever meet. I was like, you know, I've been through some bad crap too. I'm not selfish. No, I am. We all are. And